Hello, I'm Phoebe Cryer with the Vespers, and I'm going to be showing you how to make our very own flower hair clips that look just like this. And I have everything I need here with me: my sewing scissors, my glue, my felt, my hair clip, my button, my needle and thread, my sewing pins, my flower outline templates, and my fabric. And we have all of this and more in our do-it-yourself flower hair clip kit. And it has everything you need to make 10 of your very own flower hair clips, all different colors. And once you use all the fabric, you can just keep making flowers with your own fabric that you find here and there. So that is available for purchase on our website, thevespersband.com. And let's just get started here. For step 1, you're going to choose your fabrics. I'm going to be using these two, this for the bottom and this for the top. And just keep in mind while you're choosing your fabrics, just think about what your hair color is. Like if you have really dark hair, you may not want to choose really dark fabrics for your flower. And blondies, you're pretty much safe either way, but redheads, not all the colors are going to work for you. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to use these two. And so for step 1, you're going to cut these out. Take the fabric you've chosen for your bottom half, and you're going to fold it in half once, then fold it in half again so that it makes a smaller square. And take outline number 1, place it on top, pin it to the fabric, and cut it along the outline. And you're going to do the same thing with the top layer. Fold it in half again, pin it, all that jazz. So you're going to turn out with 4 pieces of fabric in each shape and color that look just like this. 4 different little pieces. So let me move this stuff out of the way. We can go on to step 2. We're going to sew the bottom pieces together. So I'm going to set these top pieces aside, take these bottom pieces. First you're going to thread your needle. And I like to take about 2 feet of thread altogether. And I'm going to thread that through the needle. And I want to double it up so that I'll have 2 strands of thread all together, like this. And I'm going to knot it at the end, just by kind of rolling it around. It gets kind of difficult sometimes. And pull it tight so that it forms a little knot at the end. So I have 2 strands of thread and then a knot at the end. So I'm going to put that down, and you're going to take up one of the pieces from the bottom layer, and you're going to fold it in half with the colored side of the fabric outside. Then you're going to fold it in half again so that it forms kind of a heart shape. You're going to try to press it down so it stays in that folded shape. You're going to take your needle and you're going to sew upwards through the corner of the piece. You're going to pull tight, and then you're going to sew down through that same area. You're going to pull tight again, and then upwards one last time. And the reason you did those 3 stitches were to just kind of sew the whole piece together. You're going to set that down, take up another piece, and fold it just like you did the first time into a little heart shape. Press it down a little bit, and you're going to do the same thing. 3 stitches through the corner. And you don't want these 2 pieces to overlap. You just want them to stay right next to each other. So you're going to pull it tight, let them stay right next to each other, do another stitch, and do one last stitch through the top. You're just going to continue this with all the 4 pieces. Go up. Don't let them overlap. Sew your last piece on. Make sure they don't overlap. Pull it tight. And do those last 2 stitches. Alright, when you bring the last stitch up, I don't want to bring it back up to the very corner. I want to bring it back a little bit closer to my thumb. About right there. And this is just a little tip. These are kind of wobbly. They're not staying together very well. They're just sewn to each other at the corners. So I kind of want to solidify it a little bit more. So I'm going to kind of bridge these little gaps in between these pieces by doing this. Just kind of bridge the gap with a little thread bridge. And you come up over here on the other side of this piece and bridge this gap over here. Pull it tight, not too tight though. And you're going to bridge this gap over here. And the last little gap. Just like that. So they're going to stay together much better now. Alright, and you're going to come up through one of the corners of the pieces, close to the center. Now we're ready for step 3. Now you have the bottom layer ready, all sewn together, with the thread coming out of the center in the middle. You're going to take a piece from the top layer, and you're going to fold it just like you did the bottom layer. Except these are going to look more like a, I don't know, a V with a little point in the middle, so you kind of want to make it look like this. And you're going to sew up through the center, just like you did down here, and you're going to place this top piece so that you can bridge the gap in these 2 pieces down here. You want to cover up that little seam with this top piece here. So you pull it tight, and then you're going to sew down through the center, and you can go through the entire flower this time, the bottom layer and the top. Then you come back through the corner again. Then you're going to do the same thing with one of these other pieces. Fold it again, come through the center, bring it down next to the first piece you laid down. Don't let them overlap, but make them very close to each other. Pull tight, sew another down through the same spot, and up again. Take another piece, do the same thing. And the very last piece. Place it in the last gap, pull tight, and make your last 2 stitches. And you can do the same solidifying technique that you did for the bottom layer, but it's not as important for the top layer because they stay together pretty well anyways, and you're going to have the button there. So you can just come up through the middle, wherever you want. Alright, for step 4, and you just got to choose your button center. I'm going to use this little blue one because there's little hits of blue in this top layer here. You can do whatever you want, but you know, just go through your choices and decide what's cutest. Alright, so take your thread, it should be coming out up in the middle of the flower here, and just sew the button to the center. Try to make it as centered as possible because it's easy to get it off and it looks a little funny, so try to keep it in the center there and sew it through the entire flower. Since your thread is doubled up, you only usually have to go through twice in order to keep the button there solidly. It stays there pretty well. So flip the flower over, and now you just got to knot the thread in the back. So you're just going to sew through a teeny bit of this fabric back here, and then bring your needle through this little loop here and pull tight. That creates a knot. You can do it again if you want to, just to make sure it's knotted well. Alright, and then cut your thread. Alright, now for step 5. We have our flower shape ready. We just gotta glue the felt on there and sew the hair clip. So you're gonna take your felt and you're gonna cut out a small piece. It's shaped kind of like a leaf or a football, however you wanna look at it. Looks about like that. You're going to take your glue and glue it to the flower. You might want to have a little bit more glue than that. Sometimes it can be a little stubborn and it won't stay on there, but just glue it to the center of the flower in the back there. And you're going to have to let it dry for 5 or 10 minutes because you don't want to sew the hair clip to the felt while it's still wet. So I'm going to set that aside. And I have one here that's already dry for the most part. And you're going to take your hair clip and you'll have to rethread your needle, doubled up the same way we had it before, with the knot at the end. And you're going to sew the hair clip to this felt here. And you don't want to go over this little middle part here because then you're not going to be able to open and close your hair clip and use the flower properly. So I'm just sewing through the edge here. And you're just going to do loop around stitches. All the way around. Make sure the thread doesn't go over that middle part there. And once you get to the end of the other side, you just gotta knot it just like you did after you sewed the button on. Catch some of that felt there and go through the loop. Pull tight. And do it again just for good measure. Make sure the thread doesn't come loose. And cut your thread. And you have your flower hair clip. Thank you again for watching my little tutorial video. And if you don't have all the supplies that you need, they're all ready and collected for you in one little box, our do-it-yourself flower hair clip kit, which is available at our website, thevespersband.com. Thanks and have a wonderful day.